What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another video, man. It's been a minute since I did a one-on-one with y'all, so I wanted to tap in for sure. And as you guys may have already heard, we will have a huge announcement, man. Trevor Lane, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, is going to be on this live stream tomorrow at noon, 12 Pacific time. So make sure you guys, lock in your notifications, reminders, anything you need. So if you guys have any questions to ask, I'll try my best to get to as many as I can. I can't wait to pick his brain tomorrow. So make sure you guys are here. Also wanted to give a major shout out, man. Major shout out to LA Sports Live on YouTube, who, by the way, they just hosted me, him and Lakers over everything. They just hosted me. Gracious host, man. If y'all want to check out that episode, it's called Dan the Laker Fan Joins LA Sports Live for Lakers Talk. So go ahead and check that one out. It's out already on YouTube for LA Sports Live. So major shout out to them and all that good stuff. But all right, let's get down to what we wanted to talk about. How you guys doing today? What's up, Craig? DS515. Yes, we will have your boy Trevor Lane here tomorrow at noon. All right. So I want to talk about Russell Westbrook posting his home and what that could mean. What's up, DC? What that could mean for the Lakers moving forward, right? Does it mean that he's out for sure? Not necessarily. Not necessarily, man, but it does mean it gives us hope that maybe, we won't have to see him at all past this season. Well, most likely we won't, right? Unless he's for some crazy reason they sign him to a contract extension. But yeah, he posted his home. It was reported today on the Wall Street Journal. Reported that Westbrook listed his Brentwood home for sale after purchasing a home for just under $20 million in 2018. Russ listed the house for $29 million. So yeah, so my man is trying to make a profit on the house market. Maybe because he sees the end coming for him. Maybe he wanted to get around the curve or whatever and post his house early. Bottom line is, yes, he posted his house, and no, the sky isn't falling. It's still expected that he'll be there at training camp, man. What's up, Ocean? What's up? Great. All right. So that being said, Russell Westbrook, can we get behind him if he buys in? It's one of those things where, yes, obviously we can get behind him, but will he buy in? Most likely not, right? But I am still very curious to see what head coach has in store for him, Darvin Ham, right? We talked about this earlier in the podcast I was in. So like I said, very curious to see, if he's able to buy in and what Darvin does. Does he bring him off the bench? I would love it if they brought him off the bench early. Why early? Because that way we don't have to go through these controversies later on in the season, while we're struggling. So why not make it happen now? If he's going to start the season with the Lakers, allow whoever is the best on the roster to start, whether that be Patrick Beverley, Lonnie Walker, and all of that, right? And also, I do have a power ranking for you guys, man. I power rank the Lakers that I think will make an impact to start the season now. Granted, this power ranking list can change at any point during the season, depending on minute distribution and rotations and all that. But for now, I'm going to give you guys the top 13. Now, we officially have 13 players on the roster plus the two-way players, but I'm not going to mention them because we don't know if they're going to get a lot of PT or not. So let's start off my power ranking, all right? Coming in at number 13, I got my boy Max Christie. Now, you might say, why Max Christie at 13, Dan? He's gifted, he's young and raw, but you never know. If he plays defense, maybe Darvin Ham uses him. Well, that's just the thing. He's extremely raw. I expect him to get some minutes in the two-way in the G League, even though he's not a two-way contract. But I do like his skill set and his talent. Maybe he moves up the depth chart in the season if he can eventually start knocking down shots. But I'm not going to place those expectations on him. And for those reasons, I put him at number 13. Now, this also has to do with expectations, all right? Depending on the contract and the name, I am expecting something of you. But since he's a rookie and he's raw and he's still in his development, I'll put him at number 13. All right, number 12, I got Troy Brown. Troy Brown has a nice skill set. He's athletic. He has the potential to be a two-way wing, but he still hasn't accomplished much in the league. Could this be the year that he steps up and have a big year for the Lakers? To be determined. Again, we don't know what type of coaching rotations Darvin Ham is going to use. So for those reasons, I got him at number 12. At number 11, we got last year's Wenyen Gabriel. Now, Wenyen Gabriel could have been higher on this list, but since we got a new coaching staff and he's been a journeyman so far early in his career, who knows if he'll have the same opportunities. The thing is, he played extremely hard last year, though. If he could just bring that to this year, he will for sure have a chance. Hey, what's up, Christian? He said hi from Paris, Dan, and everybody else. Appreciate you, EJ. All right. At number 10, I got probably somebody who's going to be one of the fan favorites. He already has a mural for himself. He got to be one of the few role players that gets a mural in LA, and that is Juan Toscano Anderson. Los Angeles knows what it means to have a Mexican playing for purple and gold, so that's pretty dope. But I am excited for what he's going to bring on and off the court, his intensity. He's a defensive-minded player and a very good vet with championship experience. Juan Toscano cracks my list at number 10. All right, at number 9, and he's only this low because of injuries and the question marks around his health. All right, number 9, I got Kendrick Nunn. Now stop me at any point if you guys disagree with my list. I also want to read some comments. All right, at number 9, I got Kendrick Nunn. He should be a lot higher on the list, but my expectations are low for him because we don't know how he'll look after coming back from such a injury, right? We don't know what he's going to look like, and also they're ramping him up slowly and all that. So that's all bad for my boy Kendrick Nunn. But I wish him the best, and hopefully, like I said, throughout the course of the year, we'll start. If he looks better and better, the expectations will go higher for him. All right, at number 8, I got Damian Jones. All right, ex-Laker Damian Jones, who, by the way, was great for even under Frank Vogel the first time around. I do not understand why they didn't sign him when we needed bigs. That was a puzzling question mark right there. But Damian Jones at number 8 is pretty solid because he's a guy who does things that don't always show up in the stat sheet. He can test shots. He's a pogo stick. He can definitely catch off a pick and rolls, catch some lobs, maybe some putbacks and stuff like that. But he's a guy that reminds me a lot of Ed Davis, who doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective and will give you maximum effort while on the court. All right, this one's controversial, but I'm going to tell you guys why I put him at number 6. I didn't rank anybody who's not officially on the roster, Craig, so I didn't put Jay Huff, Scottie Pippen Jr., or anybody else who is not officially on the roster or has a two-way contract. To be fair, because there shouldn't be expectations placed on him. But back to number 6. At number 6, all right, I know some people are going to be mad at me for putting him this low, but I got Russell Westbrook. If he's on the team, start training camp, right, I don't have many expectations for him simply for the fact that I don't believe he can buy into his role. Now, due to his contract, he still needs to be 6, and I think it's fitting number 6 for him because I think his best role would be as a 6-man. So that's why I put him at number 6. And due to the fact that he makes so much money, he has such a large ego, I think we're all expecting bust from Russ, and hopefully he proves us wrong. So that's why my expectations are so low. Now, I wish I could put him higher, but yeah, he's number 6. Who was number 7? Lonnie Walker was number 7. Oh, did I skip? I did skip Lonnie Walker. My bad. Lonnie Walker's number 7. I do think he's going to be one of the better players off the bench. He might even start some nights. I forgot to break him down. He's very athletic. I loved everything he used to do for the Spurs. He needs to continue to work on that jump shot. That's why he's a little bit lower on the list. But yeah, number 7 is Lonnie Walker. My bad. Completely forgot to mention it. And then I just gave you guys my number 6 was Russell Westbrook. I think he should be the 6th man of the year. Hence the number 6 plus. My expectations for him after last year are not as high. Okay. At number 5, all right, and I think he should be our actual number 5. Now, no pun intended. It just so happened that he slid into that number. But at number 5, we got Thomas Bryant. I think he should be our starting 5, ironically. Again, everything he used to do for the Lakers as a rookie, he continued to grow in Washington. He now has some starter experience. When he's healthy, this guy is the man. He's going to play extremely hard. And again, another player that doesn't need the ball in his hands, but he can space the floor. And he's going to give you second chance effort, hustle points. I expect him to help AD with the dirty work, crashing the glass, boxing out. Maybe throw a couple of elbows, under the radar elbows here and there. He's a tough player. So Thomas Bryant is my number 5. So far, do you guys agree with my 13 through 5? Do you guys agree? So just to recap, Max Christie 13, Troy Brown 12. And these are the power rankings to start training camp. Again, they will change as the season continues. I will give you guys power rankings throughout the course of the season. Wenyen Gabriel 11, Juan Toscano 10, Kendrick Nunn 9, only due to his past injuries, Damian Jones 8, Lonnie Walker 7, Russell Westbrook 6, and Thomas Bryant 5. Do you guys agree? Disagree? Where would you guys put these players? What is your order? Drop it in the comment section, and I'll pause and read it. But let me continue with number 4. Meanwhile, you guys think of your own order. Craig says, good choices, Dan. Thank you, bro. Great minds. All right. At number 4, I got Austin Reeves. Now, everybody's expecting Austin Reeves to take somewhat of a leap. Maybe not too huge of a leap, but Defensively, we need him to be consistent. Offensively, just knock down your open shots, make the right reads and passes, and cut to the basket whenever you get a chance. LeBron will find you if you start. I do pencil him in as my starter. So I would put Austin Reeves at number 4 in my power rankings to start training camp. All right, at number 3, the newest acquisition. And I have high expectations for him because he talked up a storm all off season long, talking about if he was on the Lakers, we would make the playoffs, and Lakers need to pick him up, and blah 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 blah. Okay, Patrick Beverley, here's your chance. Expectations are high. You're my number 3 player on the depth chart as far as expectations go in my power ranking. So I expect him to live up to the hype. Lock up, knock down open shots, and ramp everybody up. That's why we brought him here. So that is my number 3. My boy Money Marcel says disagree so far. Reeves at number 4 is crazy. He's 24 years old, and Lonnie and Troy are younger and better. It's not about younger and better. It's about what can fit right around LeBron James. And we saw that similar to Caruso, Austin Reeves can play without the ball, and he can excel even without the basketball. So for those reasons, I put him higher than both of those. Now, I'm not saying he's a better player than Lonnie Walker right now, and age has nothing to do with it. And again, I will change my power rankings. These are my own personal power rankings before the season starts. So this is just based off of my expectations and what I feel will benefit the roster. So I'm going to stick to that number 4. He said, what up, DTLF? Do you think that it's a sign that Russ is getting traded after he put his house up for sale? I think it's a sign that he's no longer happy here in Los Angeles, and he would welcome a trade. Remember, there's been multiple reports about him welcoming a trade. And so I do think that is very telling. Lake Show for life. Yes, sir, Joseph. He said, you're right, Dan. Reeves does have experience. Yeah, those are the only reasons I put him at number 4, and also the great things we've been hearing from practices so far that him and Thomas Bryant really moving up. That's why they're 5 and 4 respectively. At number 3, I already mentioned I got Patrick Beverley. He said, why is Patrick Beverley number 3 over Austin Reeves? Just curious. Number 1 is because he has more experience. He's been in the playoffs, and he proclaims to be the self improvement tool that we need. He said it himself. Don't take my word for it. Check out the interviews. Austin Reeves is just quiet and humble, and so I'm not going to put that type of pressure to be the 3rd best player on the roster yet. But Patrick Beverley said that if he was on the Lakers, single-handedly he would make us go to the playoffs along with AD and LeBron. He also said that they asked him if he was excited or what was it? I think if he was excited to play alongside Bron and AD, and he said they should be excited to play with me because they missed the playoffs and I did it. So put your money where your mouth is, sir. I have you as my number 3 in the depth chart as far as power rankings to start, because he needs to show me that intensity. He needs to show me he can consistently lock up, and hopefully his mouth doesn't get the best of him and gets us in trouble. So that's why I have him at number 3. I'm doing good, Jason. How you doing, man? For those of you just tuning in, I just announced on Twitter and on here that Trevor Lang will be here tomorrow to answer everybody's questions, including mine, at 12 noon. So make sure you guys are here. Turn up the post notification bells. If you guys already haven't subscribed, do that. It's all because of you guys, man. All this success that this channel's been having is because of the likes, the subscriptions. You guys have pushed it forward. So thank you guys. And as a thank you gift, I'm bringing on Trevor, and he was gracious enough to join. All right. At number 2, you guys know who it is, man. You guys know damn right who it is at number 2, and that is Anthony Davis. All right, he needs to have a bounce back season. If not, that trade rumors and chatter might get really loud next year if he doesn't have a bounce back year. But AD is number 2, and it's gonna be nice. So he's gonna flip to number 1, and so on and so forth in the power rankings. But right now, we need him to be the perfect Robin to LeBron's Batman. Right? We need that, and we need him to be efficient, and most importantly, we need this man to stay healthy, because that is the biggest key of our season right there. If we can stay healthy and we can make the playoffs with a decent enough seeding, then I like our chances, all right, for the playoffs, if we can stay healthy. And of course, at number 1, I got the king himself, Mr. About to be number 1 on the scoring all-time list, the one who's been shattering and breaking records, 4-time champion, superstar LeBron James. And I really don't need to give you guys an explanation on why he's number 1. I mean, he's been the most consistent Laker since he's arrived, even at his age, even going into year 20. He is that guy. What's up, Shoe Medic? What's up, bro? Yeah, man. So LeBron and AD, respectively, 1 and 2. Very, very excited, man, for this season. Even though a lot of you guys have already kind of punted the season away in your minds. I'm excited. Listen, everything is on paper right now. We still don't know if any tweaks get made. Remember, we still need to add one more roster spot, and it's open. It must be open for a reason. So maybe the trade still does go through. But as of right now, all we know is that this is the team, and if we're healthy, I'm excited, and I hope that we don't get disappointed. That's all I can say about that. And I can't wait to break it down with you guys. Starting with training camp, I will be dropping daily videos. And preseason, you guys know where to find me for pre and post game and all of that. Plus, I will try to have as many guest appearances as I can this season throughout the course of the year, so we can talk about what's going on the court, which is when it's most important. All right. I will now take you guys' questions, starting with Rally Chris. What's up, bro? He said, Dan, is Russ getting traded? Hopefully. But I want to hold my breath on that because right now it looks like he might come back, although there's mixed signals. Right? Obviously, he was over there in Utah in some lake last week, and then this week now he puts his house up for sale, and also the rumors about him welcoming a trade. So I don't know. For the first time, I can't give you guys a prediction because I thought he would have got traded earlier in the offseason, and so far nothing. So he said, I like Austin Reeves, but you guys overhyping him. He ain't that good to be 3 or 4. If he's that high on the Lakers roster, they are in trouble. Or maybe he could be a pleasant surprise, Avery. Last year, where would you put Austin Reeves last year? Right? As far as we had LeBron James, obviously Anthony Davis. Malik Monk was my third on the depth chart on the power rankings because he had a great season. And then number 4 was up for grabs. There was nights when Austin Reeves was number 4. If he really is getting stronger and better, and the rumors are true that he's going to start, Darvin Ham could get the best of him. I'm damn near sure that you will have no problem with me putting him at number 4 if he starts off strong. But yeah, hey, you're entitled to your opinion, man. He said, Dan, I still think Ham will start Beverly at shooting guard. Reeves still needs to prove himself more his sophomore year. Maybe you might be right. But if Darv lives up to what he said, facts over feelings, then he should play whoever's best in training camp and preseason. And hopefully that'll be Austin Reeves because I want that infusion of youth with my veterans, LeBron and AD. That's what I want. He said the Suns owner stuff come out of the blue, LOL. Yikes. Yes, I'm glad you brought it up, man, because I almost forgot, man. What's his name? Robert Sarver. He's been suspended by the NBA for only 1 year. And he's also been fined $10 million for racially insensitive language, misogynistic behavior, and other hostile at the workplace environment. Now, remember, this isn't the first time we've heard a rumor like this, right? I remember Earl Watson talking about this. I think it was Earl Watson. He said he didn't mind getting fired because it was not a comfortable work environment. He talked about the racism and all that from Robert Sarver. So I remember I touched on this back in the day, and it's a shame that the NBA even puts up with these type of individuals. Listen, we're in 2022. If you can't get along with everybody, then get the heck on out. This isn't the slavery days, man. You don't own these players. You don't own these coaches. And also with the sexual harassment stuff, man, that's got to stop. People need to stop abusing their power immediately, all right? Now, what I would do is if I was the commissioner, I will boot his ass to no oblivion. Listen, he doesn't need to be in the league, all right? The league is a diverse league full of diverse fans, and we love diversity, and we love sports are supposed to bring us together and get us to connect, not separate us and split us apart. And people like Robert Sarver are part of the problem, and he needs to get the heck on with along with his good buddy. What was his name? I already forgot his name. The ex-Clipper guy. How was his name, guys? Somebody please refresh my memory. I am not good at remembering, names that are not important. Who are my MVP candidates? Is AD on your list? Not right now, Jason. I need to see how we start the year, right? We can't just go throwing out awards. I hope that he becomes one, and I think LeBron will be on that list. But Donald Sterling, yes, Donald, the ugly duckling Sterling. Yes, I remember. Thank you so much, Craig. Yeah, he needs to go on with his best. Robert Sarver needs to go join his racist buddy, Donald Sterling, and go over there because the NBA don't need him over here. If Russ starts, how many wins? I say 35. It depends on how many minutes he get, right? Because if they gradually decrease his minutes, like my good friend Lakers Over Everything said over there in the podcast today, if they gradually start taking his minutes away, then maybe eventually he will start coming off the bench. But here's the bottom line. Russell Westbrook, this might be his last opportunity to prove he's still a serviceable player around the league. All right, this is his last opportunity. If you can't show up and show out in the best on the best team in this league, the Lakers, then you're in trouble, man. You're in deep dog crap. So he needs to make sure that he comes out here and does whatever coach wants him. I'm curious, Dan, how Russ will be utilized by Ham. He said, if he stays, I hope we see it preseason. Man, me too. I can't wait for preseason. I think we're going to get a lot of questions answered. A lot of the rotations might come late in preseason where we start saying, okay, this is what we're going to roll out into regular season. And then we can give a better assessment of everything. Starting five. Starting five as is, Dan. My starting five is Patrick Beverley, point guard, shooting guard, Austin Reeves, small forward, LeBron, power forward, Anthony Davis, and Thomas Bryant, number 5 at the 5, right, at center. Why is this my starting lineup? Because I'm going to emphasize defense. Patrick Beverley, defense. Austin Reeves, defense. LeBron James, when he wants to play, defense. AD, defense. Thomas Bryant, defense. And we'd have good size there as well. So that's my starting 5. Off the bench, you got Russ at the point. At the shooting guard, you'll have Lonnie Walker or Kendrick Nunn. Don't matter. Probably Lonnie Walker to start, then Kendrick Nunn if he's playing better. Throw one at the small forward, and then you'll have Wenyen Gabriel at the power forward. With that center, you got Damian Jones. And if I forgot anybody, you'll alternate them, between those bench minutes. But that's how I feel about this roster. We need to focus. We need to focus on defense because that's how we won the 2020 championship. It was defense. We remember everybody's critiquing. They were saying we didn't have enough. Shooting to compete in the bubble. And what do? Right? We let our defense. We let our defense lead us to our offense. So that's what we need to do. Jelani says, Dan collaborating more than the MCU. I'm trying to give the people what y'all want, man. Y'all been asking me to collaborate with these amazing basketball minds, so I've been doing that. And it's been fun. It's been a pleasure. So I will welcome that throughout the year. We'll bring some marquee names in here, and we'll be breaking down basketball. So if you already haven't, make sure y'all do subscribe because I am the people's champ, and I give the people what they want. The people ask for Trevor Lane. He's going to be here tomorrow at noon. So I'm very grateful to him for the opportunity, and I'm very excited, man. And as far as this season, I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna be really positive. How about my Dodgers? Dodgers are looking great. I mean, it's always good when they defeat the Padres as well, and their playoff hopes are dwindling while we continue to dominate. Look, besides the injuries, obviously the injuries have been a bummer this year, and Cody Bellinger's batting average and all of that, and little minor things. We should win a championship. All right, if we can stay healthy, Dodgers going to repeat, man, and I'd be extremely excited when it happens. Is the Warriors and the Clippers game 1 and 2? We want the best of the best, and I mean the Warriors. We want the best of the best. They just won a championship, of course. We're there for opening rings ceremony. I think it's a good thing. It'll get our players really motivated. Hopefully we come out and we sneak up on them and surprise them. And maybe they're caught sleeping by the fact that it is their ring ceremony. They're going to be emotional. But it's a good test to start off with the measuring stick early. As far as the Clippers go, listen, if LeBron and AD come to play and as Patrick Beverley does as well, that should be a very fun game to watch. If they don't come to play like some nights when they take nights off, then I'm going to be very upset because, I hate losing to that shadow franchise. So, yeah. He said Russ better get used to coming off the bench or his career is not going too late. I think he would be better suited at this point of his career in the Lamar Odom role. Man, we love Lamar Odom. We didn't look at him as a 6-man. We looked at him as a Laker beast who was willing to sacrifice anything to win. I wish Russell Westbrook had that mentality. I really do. He's a Lakers strong. He said, DTLF, your show has progressed. And you've gotten better and better. Keep it going. Thanks, Black Mamba. That's what it's all about, baby. That's what it's all about. And I'm very thankful for all my guests that have been on here as well, man. But none of it's possible without you guys' support. So keep smacking that like button, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. He said, Dan, want to touch on a subject on why Laker fans can't get on board with Westbrook. He said, 1, he made a mockery of the Lakers brand. Number 2, he is a selfish player and won't sacrifice for the team. And number 3, he sucks. Roy, you do not bite your tongue, my man. Listen, I agree with you, man. It's hard to get on board with somebody who doesn't embrace the Laker winning ways, right? And the Laker winning way is always the name on the front before the name on the back. And that means if you have to listen, ask Kyle Kuzma, KCP, all these role players that easily could have averaged more points elsewhere, sacrifice for the betterment of the team. Ask Chris Bosh when he went to Miami. He wasn't dropping the same numbers he did in Toronto. Same thing with Kevin Love when he went to the Cavs. If you're going to be the third star, you're probably going to take the hit in the numbers, and you should be okay with that. You have to be okay with that. You cannot, you can't come into the Lakers team and hope that that you're still getting your triple doubles and breaking records, bro. First of all, you're starting to decline. You're not LeBron James. LeBron is a freak athlete. He's a different specimen, man. Listen, LeBron James is gonna be one of the GOATs for sure. He already is, because he's been able to stay effective longer than anybody has in the history. You can't act like you're LeBron James, Russ. You have to humbly admit defeat. Father Time is undefeated. So if he could just, humble himself a little bit, then we would like him a lot more. But that didn't happen last season. And based on the rumors and reports, I'm not expecting that to happen this year. So as a result, yes, we do want him to come off the bench or to get off of the team. But let's see what happens there. He said three takes the cake. He just sucks. That's messed up. He said, Russ doesn't suck. He's just stubborn. He's not self-aware of his game declining. He hasn't changed for the betterment. There's been other point guards, that as they lose speed and quickness, they develop a little nice mid-range jump shot. They, Chris Paul, that's where they're able to stay effective, right? As they get older and they can no longer attack the rim like they used to, they add other facets to the game. So that's one of those things where you got to be smart and be self-aware. And unfortunately, even his agent tried to tell Russ he better take a back seat or else, and he got fired. So that's one of those things, man. It's unfortunate for Russ, but it's even more unfortunate for us Laker fans, because we had to suffer through that last year, and you would think at his age he would be a lot more mature. Dan, are you gonna attend the Laker game this season? And who's your favorite international player in the modern NBA? I hope. Hey, listen, if I'm blessed enough, if I paid my bills off that month and I'm good to go, yes, I will be attending a Laker game this season. So basically, Lord willing, yes. And my favorite modern day international player is Luka Doncic. I even bought his jersey, which is not something I usually do for modern NBA players. Only legends like Dominique Wilkins and Vince Carter and Allen Iverson, right? But when they're this great and they're going to be legends like Luka, I have bought their jersey, man. And he's my favorite non-Laker international player. He said, tomorrow I'm multitasking between DTLF Live and Real Madrid. Let's freaking go. Hey, man, I appreciate that, bro. And your AV picture says it all, man. You're a passionate fan of both. So thank you for making that sacrifice and go on both at the same time. I'm sure you won't regret it, man. Trevor Lane is here. We're going to pick his brain, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. He's the biggest guest that I'll have had on here in the history of this channel so far. And I've had a lot of great guests, as you can see recently. Most recently, we've had more. But Trevor Lane is the godfather of Lakers Nation. Listen, it's a dream come true for me. When I was a kid, right, before Twitter and before the internet and all that, not the internet, but before Twitter, we used to get our news from LakerNation.com. Right now with Twitter, it connects everything, right? We get it from Trevor Lane and Laker Nation. We get it from Mike Trudell. You guys get it from me. We get it from Woj and Shams, right? So we kind of like grew up on Lakers Nation, and now we got the head honcho coming over. That is huge, man. That's a dream come true for sure. And he's had me over on his show for a couple times as well. So that has also been a dream come true. It's a blessing, man, and I'm very excited. Thanks, Alexander. Appreciate you, man. He said most winning franchise. That Knicks took the biggest L this offseason. They did. Let me tell you why. Because history always seems to repeat itself, man. I felt like they had Donovan Mitchell in the bag, and out of the blue, here come the Cavaliers and sweep them off. So that's tough, man. Jose says, DTLF, I think the Lakers and the Jazz do make a trade. They have 19 players on their roster. Well, they're also rumored to be talking to multiple teams, so who knows? But they have to be willing to give us a fair deal, all right? Because if they don't give us a fair deal, it's not going to be a trade happening. We're not going to get swindled. Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka are smarter than that. We're not going to give up unprotected first-round picks, multiples, for role players who may or may not work out and might still not promise you a championship. Imagine those draft picks end up being a top 3 pick, both of them, and now you're really gonna hurt yourself because if it didn't work out this season and you gave up your future, then that's gonna be really tough. He said Lakers going to be real good after trading off those picks with the Jazz. He said, bless love, DTLF. I believe we'll make a change, he said, before the season starts. But as I still believe in our squad with everyone healthy, LA for life. Thanks, Lou. Appreciate you, man. Let's hope you guys are right. I'm not sure anymore. I'm so confused. I thought we would have been made a trade. And we did make a trade, but it was a minor trade, right? It was Patrick Beverly. I was hoping for the big one. I was hoping for, obviously, either, Kyrie or Miles Turner and Buddy, or even the Jazz one, but none of that happened. So it's one of those things, man, where, I'm just like, I'm dumbfounded by the fact we haven't made a move yet. And at the same time, I'm looking forward to seeing what we have on the roster right now and how those things can come together. Remember this, last year, and I hate to use this comparison, but last year, the Stinkers, right, with Tyronn Lue, were able to, even with the injuries to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, we're still able to get that stinker team all the way to the play-in tournament. So that's called coaching, right? That coach is actually really good, and he's able to get the most out of his role players. If Darvin Ham can do the same thing, guess what happens now? All of a sudden, we're maximizing the potential of these role players, and now maybe you're talking about us a lot differently around January than what everybody's talking about us right now. Salute, bro. LA Sports Life. Thank you, man, for having me earlier today. Appreciate you, bro. He said, Dan, have you ever seen the Ruffles commercial with AD in the grocery store and he's shooting the Ruffles bag over the aisles? I don't think I have. He's into people's shopping carts like a basketball. I love that commercial. I don't think I've seen that commercial, bro, but I might look it up at the end of the stream. See you later, says Dan. Facts. And the people clowning the Lakers for holding their picks, but if those picks end up number 1 and someone impactful, they would be clowning the Lakers for doing the trade. No. And that's the difference between us and the front office. We are fans. We are very passionate, and we want the best for our team now. We don't want to wait 2-3 years from now. But thank God we're not in the front office because we could jeopardize that future if we were. So thank God we're not. We're just diehard fans with knowledge, of course. But, that's a hard job for the front office because you could be damned if you do make a trade and you could be damned if you don't. So that's a tough job, although I would welcome the pressure personally. I would love that kind of pressure, right? Pressure turns people into diamonds. He said Lakers had 3 draft picks 3 years in a row, D'Angelo Russell, Lonzo, and Brandon Ingram. What did it get them other than AD and who's usually in street clothes? That's a very grim way to see that, Jeff. That's a very, very grim way to look at it. I wouldn't look at it like that at all. You know what it got us? It got us a championship. Because without those assets, we don't get LeBron. LeBron's not going to a team that had only, and no disrespect to these Lakers, but Ryan Kelly, Robert Sacre, and Xavier Henry. If we only had those guys, LeBron's not coming here. All right. As much as he loves LA, he would have, God forbid it, but he probably would have been a Clipper. Right. So you needed those pillars to build on where LeBron could be like, okay, let me go see if I can mentor these guys and we can build something there in LA. Or if not, LA will trade them because they're all about championships. And that's exactly what happened. So in reality, Jeff, D'Angelo Russell, Lonzo Ball, and Brandon Ingram turned into LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And that's why those picks are crucial. And you don't want to give up assets for nothing. And not to say Jordan Clarkson and, Bojan Bogdanovic and all these people aren't nothing, right? But I'm just saying they're not worth unprotected first-round picks. They're worth maybe late, in the 20s protected first-round picks. So we got to be really intelligent, and let's not just have short-term memory loss. Be like, oh, well, AD's always hurt all the time. Listen, we already have a championship. We won those trades. Okay, we also have LeBron James locked up here for the foreseeable future. So we're set. And we're always going to be a landing destination, but you do have to have somewhat of a launching pad for these superstars to be here. Because remember, stars want to win too. They don't just want to be in the market that is LA anymore, because the NBA has made it under the new CBA so that you can even get great commercials and marketing in Milwaukee. That's why Giannis didn't leave. So the landscape has changed, but what still favors our Lakers is our history, how we continue to repeat that history, how classy we are with our superstars. And that is all of that. And obviously the beautiful people and weather here in LA, all of that is very appealing to the superstars, but you still need to have assets in order to. It's like a launching pad for these stars to get to their final destination, which is at the championship contention level. He said they clowning the Rams because we played last year and first this year. He said, but we're not allowed to lose, I guess, especially the first game. That's all right, man. Listen, we're gonna wipe away our tears with our championship rings, and we're good, man. We're gonna continue to compete as long as we got Sean McVay, obviously, Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald and that core. I'm feeling pretty good about my team. I'm not worried about it. Now that front line, though, that we got to protect the quarterback better for sure. Dan, what do you think of Rob Pelinka's job so far? When we first acquired Rob Pelinka, he did an excellent job. All right, him and Magic Johnson did a great job of reestablishing this franchise. We bring LeBron James here. Obviously, Magic was at the helm of that. He was the main key factor. But then at the 12th hour, once Magic Johnson stepped down that offseason, when we landed Anthony Davis and built a nice team around them with Dwight and all these guys at the 12th hour, that was his claim to fame. That was his best. That's when I started to believe about Rob Pelinka. Unfortunately, recently he's done some questionable things. And for me, this is his final chance is to get it right this year. We have to be competitive into the playoffs and be competitive, right? Hopefully we go deeper. Because if not, then you're going to hear tons of question marks, for myself included, about Rob Pelinka and how, he got drunk off of his one championship and he settled, even though he said himself that he wasn't satisfied with the one championship. So he needs a lot of work to do, especially this season, to make us competitive. But hopefully he did the right things by hiring Darvin Ham, did the right things by trading, for obviously Patrick Beverly and getting younger in the offseason, hopefully. You say, y'all real Laker fans if y'all know who Robert Sacre is. Of course we know who Robert Sacre is, man. He's our favorite bench warmer. He was bald like your boy, and he was somebody who didn't have a lot of skill, but he was just a fun-loving guy and a Laker for sure. And who didn't love Robert Sacre a couple of years back? But we sucked back then. That's the only difference. He said Beverly was a mistake. We'll see. To be determined, man. To be determined. I never like to say it was a mistake till we see it on the court. Dennis Schroeder was a mistake. Russell Westbrook was a mistake. I can't say yet about Patrick Beverly. I wasn't very happy about this trade, especially if this ends up being our only trade. But I'm going to give him a chance before I could say that. Right? I want to give him a chance and see what he does on the floor with this core. And I'll say one thing about Patrick Beverly. He ain't never played with the talent of LeBron James and an AD before. So if he does knock down those shots consistently, he'll get some more wide open shots from these guys when they get doubled down low. He's a real Laker Nation remembers Marcelo Huertas. Yes, and they remember all his blunders as well. Remember when he was on Shaq and the Fool for the mistakes he made? But he was a good passer. That was all, though. He couldn't defend to save his life. He was just a passer, man. A very flamboyant passer. Shannon Brown's the GOAT. I used to call him Cannon Brown. This man had a cannon on his legs, man. He would jump out the building. But he did disappoint us during the dunk contest. That's the only thing. He's a brand new stadium and already 2 banners. And guess who else has to see them? That's right. That's right, William. Rams house, baby. This is Rams house. We already put our stamp. On Los Angeles last season. So we ain't worried about nothing. Oh, man. Do not remind me of Javaris Crittenton. It's unfortunate the way his life ended, man. This man ended up killing. If y'all don't know about the Javaris Crittenton story, YouTube it, because I'm not going to say the whole thing here. But he ended up joining a gang, unfortunately, and killing an innocent person. And now he's in prison, man, for a long time. So that's unfortunate. I remember when we drafted Javaris Crittenton, he was a nice little guard with some handles. He can get to the rack. His jump shot was inconsistent, but he was a flashy young guard, and I was very excited for him. Unfortunately, yes, he did get included in that Pau Gasol package deal when we got Pau, and his life went south, man. He ended up in Washington and then out of the league. So that's unfortunate when a young man, throws away his life with all that potential they have. Then are you going to watch Mexico play in the World Cup? Yes, I am. It's my family tradition. We always watch the World Cup, man. We supported Mexico. We're supporting, a lot of countries. Very excited to watch, man. And it's one of those things where you got to wake up extremely early. So you're going to see a lot of bags under my eyes during the World Cup. And I probably will be covering some games if they're really good on my second channel, Primetime TV. So please do subscribe if you already have it. But all right, guys, it's going to wrap it up for me. just a reminder for those of you that weren't on here early, Trevor Lane tomorrow at noon here on this here very channel. So if you already haven't, please subscribe, smack that like button, hit that post noti bell, set your reminders because we got a big day tomorrow, man. We're gonna have a nice little live stream with the great Trevor Lane. So definitely check him out and check us out. And I'll see you guys here tomorrow, man. Enjoy the rest of your day and peace out, Liquor Nation.